Good afternoon, Ms. Lemerson.
Good afternoon. I don't know if I'm muted or not.
I can hear you just fine.
All right, everyone, welcome back to this happy Tuesday. I think we're supposed to have horrible weather come Wednesday. At least that's what the weatherman says. So for attorneys, if you are ready to proceed, I know we had to break early. So everyone remain to confer. If you're ready to proceed, just raise your hand. Tony Jimenez, who do you have? Tony Jimenez?
Yes, Judge, I'm sorry. Good afternoon. I have Kenneth Leach.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Gosh, I think it's criminal trial.
Okay,
I spoke to Marcus already.
all right, that's criminal trial. Do you need to confirm with the state again?
No, Judge, I've conferred. I have an offer. I need to convey the offer to Mr. Leach and then get back to you.
All right, so Mr. Leach is on the screen. Would you like to speak, Mr. Leach?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Leach, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. And everyone, just give me a brief moment to see if paperwork has come to my computer. Everyone, just one moment. To the clerks, I'm sending paperwork to you. You're welcome. And it's on Pablo Sanchez. So to everyone who has paperwork that you filled out, please pay attention to your boxes because the clerk will be asking you to come to a breakout room so that they may swear you in. All right, just give me a moment and we will make this happen. Michael Latimer, I see you have a tan based upon your hand. All right, Andres Campion and David Woodard, if you'll show your video, please. All right, Andres Campion on Daniel De La Paz.
Yes, Your Honor, here on Daniel De La Pena Montalvo. I conferred with Michael Villarreal this morning, but the court had already broke for lunch.
No, not for lunch. I had a meeting with other judges. So I have not, just so everyone is aware, I have not had lunch. I have not had breakfast.
I'm right there with you.
Norma got me a sign that says hangry, but I'm not hangry, everyone. It's all good. So you have Montalvo?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, what is happening with this case?
The state is looking into some discovery that we believe may be exculpatory. We're waiting to see if if they even retain that at the jail. So Michael had told me that he is going to be contacting their investigator and looking into that to determine whether or not there is even something to be turned over to us.
Well, I mean, no, the last time we were here, and I have it in my notes, discovery needed from state, defense subpoena served in California.
Yes, we're still waiting on that discovery to come back to us, but this is something different.
So where are we on the stage with discovery from California?
That is a subpoena that we had sent out on our own, and I believe we're just waiting to get the documents back. I believe it's already been served.
Has it been served, and
Yes,
are they
I
going to
believe so.
comply with it?
Yeah. Unlike the other case, Your Honor, I think that they're this is on this is for cell phone records. This is not something.
All right, so there's no issue with the out-of-state subpoena.
Not on this case, Your Honor.
And then what information are you waiting from the state?
It's a video from the magistration.
And state, when will you know that you'll have that?
Judge, and so this is something obviously we don't normally get, but this is something that Mr. Campion made aware that he would like. So if, and I have no reason not to believe him that he asked the previous prosecutor on the case for the same information, but something must have fell through the cracks. I reached out to my contact at the magistrate this afternoon. There's a potential that there is a video, and so I'm having to have my investigator look for it, as well as I'm trying to figure out who exactly at the magistrate's office we need to contact in order to get that video.
So how much time do you anticipate?
If I had a crystal ball and I had to guess, Judge, I'm hoping within 2 weeks, but this is something new for me having to get, and so I don't know if there's going to be a lengthy process than anticipated.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 2-week reset on Daniel Montalvo for discovery? And Mr. Campion, your client will be excused from that day.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
And if you could put that in the chat box, Ms. Ferguson. Mr. Cardenas, you need to wake up. All right, so we'll be back on March 16th for discovery on that. Do you have anything else with us, Mr. Campion?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for your patience. You're excused.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good day.
You're welcome. All right, Roland Garcia.
Yes, Your Honor, I had an opportunity to consult with the prosecutor, and they extended a plea agreement that we're going to consider.
What is your client's name?
I'm sorry, Judge, Jason Lopez.
Is he in custody?
Yes, ma'am. That's another issue, Judge. I got the state's approval to set the bond, or their input to set the bond at $30,000. So I'll be forwarding agreed order to your office.
Mr.
to see if we can
Lopez?
get them.
Unmute yourself. So,
I'm
Mr.
here.
Lopez, your bond was forfeited because you didn't appear. So you need to make sure that you appear. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you do not appear for court, what's going to end up happening is your bond may end up being forfeited and you will be right back at the Bexar County Jail. And then I'm going to require that both the state and defense have a full-blown hearing before I will consider reinstating that. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have all the discovery in this case, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, she's gonna come on.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 2-week reset on Mr. Lopez? And that's for him to consider the offer, Mr. Garcia?
Could I have 30 days, Judge?
All right. Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Lopez, can I have a 30-day reset?
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it very much.
Oh, you're welcome. She's going to give me a date in a moment.
Okay,
Mr. Lopez, this is going to be your plea deadline date. What that means is whomever you need to talk to make a decision on whether or not you want to enter into an agreement, you need to do that before that date. On the date that the court coordinator is going to give me, you need to let me know on that date.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so your reset date is going to be March 29th, and that's your plea deadline date. Mr. Garcia, if there is an agreement, you all need to send in agreed order through email.
thank you, Your Honor.
All right, do you need to speak with Mr. Lopez before we send him back?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, hey, Jason Lopez can go back.
Yes, Your
Thank
Honor,
you.
and we are asking for a contested hearing. Did you call on me, Deborah Burke?
No, that was
I'm
Jason
sorry.
Lopez.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right, Miguel Hernandez on Jason Brown.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, I spoke to ADA Joe Ray Garcia. I've seen most of the discovery on one of the felon possessions, but he has 2 drug cases and a felon possession that I don't think they have all the discovery on yet. And so I think they may want to tie everything together if they can.
All right, and who were you conferring with on this?
Joe Ray Garcia.
All right, Joe Ray, do you know when you all will have all the information in?
Judge, I can contact him. I know the other ones are still pending. I thought, I guess it was a misunderstanding. I thought you had to come and view the current case.
Well, I do, Joe Ray. I want to go
Okay.
back over it again, but the drug cases, I mean, I don't have anything on that at all.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Jason Brown? And you all need to have worked out whatever discovery issues you have by that time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. All right, we're going to come back on March 31st.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused? I believe my client's on also.
Yes, you may be excused.
Thank you.
And everyone, just continue to have some patience in your pocket. I'm moving through as quickly as possible, and I'm trying to go in order. All right, Ignacio Beretta.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Something has come up and I need to speak to my client, Mr. Faustino Guerra in the conference room.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
That's Faustino Guerra is my client.
All right, Mr. Guerra, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. All right, Michael Latimer.
This is a reset from January 19th. Today, the state was to make an offer. I only picked up the CPS videos this morning. I had
Just
surgery
one moment.
last-
Mr. Ayala, you need to have your video on. Your client is not here. Can you call them and see? And you were just talking to me and then he just leaves. All right, Deborah, he's back. He felt your frustration.
Did you want me to call? Is he back? I can't see.
Yes, he's back. So
Okay.
what is going on with Mr. Ayala?
Okay, I picked up the CPS videos this morning. I was in surgery last week and just released. And I also filed a motion to withdraw on February 14th. And I'd like to present that to the court.
All right, is your client aware of the motion to withdraw?
Yes, he was given it on February 14th.
All right, Mr. Ayala, are you able
Yes,
to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
So here's the thing. Mr. Latimer, are you appointed?
Yes, I am.
All right, so are you going to hire an attorney?
I'm trying to
to get some things together so that I can do it. But right now my financial situation isn't, it's difficult.
So I'm going to take that as a no. So here's the thing, Mr. Ayala, all these courts have criminal cases. I don't allow cases to sit around in the 187th District Court forever. So one or two things are going to happen. Either you're going to speak to your attorney, Mr. Latimer, or either you're going to find yourself in a jury trial having not spoken to your attorney. So what would you like to do?
I don't have a problem speaking with him. I just wanted to.
No, we're not on the record, but let me just tell you what's in his motion. He's been trying to speak to you about your case, and you won't talk to him about his case. You don't want to, you refuse to speak to him about the case. So here's the thing, you can hire an attorney. When you hire that attorney, you can refuse to speak about this case. This case is still going to go forward. I am not giving you another court-appointed attorney because you don't want to talk to your attorney. Do you understand?
No, I understand that, ma'am, but it's not that I don't want to talk to him. It's that I want to go over the evidence and I want to see everything that is no,
against Mr. Ayala. Let me just tell you what's in this motion. Your counsel has set a time to speak with you at your office, at his office, and you refuse to discuss the allegations. This is the way, let me explain the way things work. The fact that we don't discuss allegations doesn't mean that there are not allegations out there. So again, if you don't want to speak to your attorney, this is still going to trial whether you speak to your attorney or not. It would probably be beneficial to you to speak to your attorney rather than not speak to your attorney.
And I want to make
Mr. Ayala, this is what I'm doing. Yes. I'm sending you to a breakout room and you go into that breakout room with your attorney.
Okay. But can I just say that it's not that I don't want to speak to him. I truly, truly don't mind speaking to him. I just really
want to do that now. Well, that's where we are now. You truly do not mind speaking to him, and he truly wants to speak to you. So now these two parties are going to come together and speak to each other. Do you understand?
Well, I do, ma'am. And I must say that in his motion, he also put down about a personal, I don't know the word to put on there, but when he says that, I don't exactly feel comfortable.
I'm sending you to breakout room number 5. Speak to your attorney.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Burke. Deborah Burke.
I wasn't sure. Okay, Your Honor, I'm here back from this morning on Manuel Galvan, and we want to set it for a contested hearing because I think I can work it out before we have the hearing.
All right, is your client in custody or on bond?
Bond.
All right, where is Mr. Galvan?
He was on this morning.
What name is he listed under?
I'm here, Your Honor, Manuel Galvan Jr.
No, what is your screen name? Is it just Manuel's iPhone?
Yeah.
All right. So are you requesting a contested hearing, Mr. Galvan?
I am, Your Honor. He doesn't exactly know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing. So I want to set it for contested. I expect to resolve it before then. I'll talk to him when we hang up.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Manuel Galvan, I need a contested hearing date. All right, Mr. Galvan, we're going to bring you back on March 30th at 2 p.m. and you'll need to appear present in the courtroom. Can we go on the record briefly? The court is going to call 2020 CR 3750, State of Texas versus Manuel Galvan. Could I have the defense announced for the record, please?
Deborah Stanton-Burke from Manuel Galvan, present.
And are you Mr. Galvan?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Defense, you're requesting a contested hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Galvan, your contested hearing is going to be in person You'll need to be in the 187 District Court on March 30th at 2 p.m. The courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa. It's on the 4th floor. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if there's nothing else, we'll close the record. Ms. Burke and Mr. Galvin, you're both excused.
Thank you,
Thank
and
you.
I'll call you Mr. Galvan. Thank you,
Thank
Your
you,
Honor,
ma'am.
Mappy. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless.
All right, Bill Davidson, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6.
Thank you.
You're welcome. David Woodard.
Judge, I have George Gutierrez. He's a criminal trial division case. I need to confer with the prosecutor.
And I'm sorry, what's the first name?
George Gutierrez.
Okay.
Here, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Woodard, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 7. All right, Scott McCrum.
I have Samantha Richards on an MTR, Judge. I conferred with Marcus this morning. The violations are all related to a new number 1 that hasn't been indicted, and not all discovery has been put together and reviewed.
Sure.
And so we both would like to have maybe a 30-day reset, not set for contested because we really can't evaluate it at this point yet.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Ms. Richards, please? And it's Samantha Richards. And it'll be for discovery.
Thank you, Judge. She
You're
stepped
welcome.
away from her chair, maybe for a restroom break or something, but can you put me in a breakout room with her?
Yes, as soon as she comes back, I'll put you in the breakout room. All right, we're going to come back on March 23rd.
There she is, Judge.
Thank you. I'll send you to a breakout room. Ms. Richards, we're going to come back on March 23rd. Your attorney has some discovery that he needs.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what is the tattoo on your chest? Was that painful?
It's my daughter's name.
Okay. I always
Yeah.
wonder if those are painful to get.
Yeah, I got it a long time ago, so.
Okay. All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your attorney and Mr. McCrum. I'm going to
Thank
need you to make sure that she comes back to the main room.
Both of us come back. Okay.
Yes. Ms. Richards, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 8. Scott McCrum, I'll send you to 8.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Kathy Compton.
Good afternoon, Judge. I'm here for Cassandra Ramirez, and I just need to confer with the CTD prosecutor.
All right, I'll send you to number 9.
Thank you.
Russell Mitchell.
Hey, Judge. I got an offer from Marcus this morning on Tammy Garrettson. So I don't know if I can just get some time so I can sit down with her and see if that's something she wants to take or.
She's on the Zoom screen. You want to go to a breakout room? I'll send you out to breakout room number 10.
Okay, thanks, Judge.
You're welcome. Ms. Garrettson, I'm sending you to breakout room number 10. Jacqueline Lamerson. Oh, while she moves to location, Jonathan Chavez.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here on Liliana Barrios Contreras. She's logged on right now.
Okay.
And today was her plea deadline, Your Honor. She does not want to take the plea deal.
Okay. All right, we're going to put that on the record in just a moment. Jacqueline Lamerson, who do you have?
I have Rodney Ferguson. I'm standing in for Christine. She's conferred and would like to remain on your trial docket.
Okay. All right, the court is going to call 2021 CR 5796, State of Texas versus Liliana Barrios Contreras. Can I have defense announced for the record, please?
Jonathan for Ms. Barrios Contreras.
All right, and are you Ms. Barrios Contreras?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No,
I'm
Your
sorry,
Honor.
any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Barrios, do you have any objections?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
All right, defense, has an offer been tendered?
Yes, it has, Your Honor.
Have you received all the discovery?
Yes, we have.
Ms. Barrios, are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
What jury trial date? All right, your jury trial date will be March 21st. Any objections, defense from for March 21st as a jury trial date?
No, Your Honor, that works well.
Ms. Barrios, do you have any objection to March 21st as a jury trial date?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Your court date will be on March 21st at 9 a.m. in the 187 District Court. You will need to appear on that day dressed for trial. The courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
When is your jury trial date?
March 21st at 9 a.m.
All right. And then the other issue we have, Mr. Chavez, you filed a motion to amend bond conditions.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. And that was just in the meantime while we're waiting trial.
Have you had a chance to confer with the state over this motion?
No, I haven't, Your Honor.
All right, then what I'll do is I'll send you to a breakout room. And if you cannot come up with an agreement with the state, I will hear it.
Okay.
I'll send you to breakout room number 12.
Okay.
And let me just find you on the screen. Ah, there you are. I'll send you to 12. All right, and Ms. Lamerson, you have Mr. Ferguson.
That's correct.
All right, we're going to go on the record. And Ms. Ferguson, I'll need a trial date for Mr. Ferguson. Court is calling 2021 CR 4559, State of Texas versus Rodney Ferguson. For the defense.
Jacqueline Lamerson, standing in for Christine McDonald.
All right, and are you Mr. Ferguson? Could you unmute, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you Mr. Ferguson?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any objection to Ms. Lamerson standing in for Christine McDonald?
No, ma'am.
So defense, have you received all of the discovery in this case?
Yes, I believe a discovery compliance has been tendered at a previous setting.
All right. And was an offer tendered?
It was.
All right, and Mr. Ferguson, are you rejecting that offer and requesting a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Ferguson, your plea deadline date has expired. Your jury trial date will be March 21st. If you are on bond, you'll need to appear in the 187 District Court, which is located at 300 De La Rosa on March 21st, dressed for trial. If you are in custody, you will be brought over from the jail, dressed for trial in whatever civilian clothing that you have at the Bexar County Jail. If you wish to have other attire, you'll need to make arrangements with your attorney. Ms. Lamerson, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, let the court know, and we will see what we can do to expedite that.
Very good. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Ferguson, if for any reason jury trials have been suspended, then you will not be brought over from the jail, and we will have you on Zoom though. You had a question, Mr. Ferguson?
Can I speak to Ms. Lambert?
Yes, I'll send you to a breakout room, number 3.
Okay.
And if you can make sure that he comes back after that, please.
Okay.
And all right, Tony Jimenez.
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
on Mr. Leach, we've conveyed an offer. He's rejected it, and so we're going to ask for a trial setting.
All right, where is Mr. Leach? Is he still in the breakout room by
I hope
chance?
so.
All right, he needs to come back to the main room. I don't see Mr. Leach.
Oh, no. Okay, so.
Your Honor.
If we can get Mr. Leach back, Mr. Leach. Is your client in custody or on bond?
He's in custody, Your Honor.
All right, let me see where he is. Miss Ferguson? Mr. Leach is no longer with us.
Okay, I'll call the jail.
Just give us a moment.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Norma, before you call the jail, just 1 second. So, Mr. Jimenez, we're actually here because the state was supposed to speak with a witness about a statement. And before we were here, the state was to contact the complainant so they can make an offer. Have they made an offer in Mr. Leach's case?
Yes, Your Honor, they did.
All
And
right,
they did speak to the witness also.
All right, what I can tell you is always make sure that defense counsel has all their discovery, and then I give a setting date. I don't like for people to receive an offer on the same day and be asked to make a decision on that.
Okay.
So what is a 30-day reset date enough time for you, or 2 weeks reset?
30 days, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a plea deadline date of 30 days for Mr. Leach, please? All right, we're going to come back on March 29th. And that will be
Yes.
his plea deadline date.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Carl Alexander.
Hi, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing great, and you've been so patient.
I'm hanging out. I was triple booked this morning, but I did in the morning confer with Marcus, and then I also spoke with my client, Mr. Watterson, as well. At this point, I think Marcus has a little bit of homework to do. No one from the DA's office has contacted the complainant, so they need to do that. And also look into the alleged deadly weapon, seeing if it meets the definition or not before we can have a meaningful discussion. So I'm asking for a reset, but I'm asking for it to be sooner rather than later. Mr. Watterson has no ability to make bond, and he's been in continuous custody for, I think, about 5 months or so now.
All right, Mr. Sanders. On Mr. Watterson, how much time will it take the state?
Judge, I told Carl that I was going to ask for a regular reset. I knew that he was going to ask for less. My concern was that less time, we may just be in the same situation. I want to make sure that I think we may have to put in some work to try to get a hold of the victim.
All right, this is what we'll do. Mr. Watterson, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Watterson, I'm going to give you a date sooner than 30 days.
Thank you.
But we may come back and the state may not have all their information, but they're assuring me that they're going to work on it. And I'm sure your attorney will make sure that they work on it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Watterson, can we come back in 2 weeks, please? See where we are? All right, we're going to come back on March 15th.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Someone asked me for something. All right, Mr. Watterson, we're going to bring back on March 15th, okay?
Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome. Norma Watterson, number 17, can go back.
May we be excused, Judge?
Yes.
Have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you. You too. Matthew Allen.
Yes, Judge. I'm here on Henry Knight.
Yes.
I spoke with Marcus Sanders this morning. He's asking for a reset. He needs to reach the complainant. I also gave him additional information on a witness that he wants to contact. And so we're asking for a reset.
All right. I'm going to give you a 30-day reset. At that time, state will make an offer. Ms. Ferguson, on Henry Knight, can I have a 30-day reset, please? All right, we're going to come back on March 29th.
Okay,
And
March
Mr.
29th.
Allen,
Thank
you're
you, Judge.
excused, and Mr. Knight, you're excused.
Thank you.
Ignacio Beretta.
Yes, Your Honor. I need to find out. I have one witness that's supposed to testify, and he's supposed to be in the courtroom, but I haven't been able to reach him by phone. And I wanted to see if he's in the courtroom and just not.
What is your
answering the
witness's name?
His name is Faustino Guerra Jr.
All right, we will find out if they're in the courtroom. To the courtroom, if you can let me know if there's a Faustino Guerra Jr. in the courtroom.
Yes, he's here.
All right, do you need to speak with him?
No, I don't, Your Honor. If he's here, then we'll proceed whenever the court's ready.
All right, just give me a moment. Ms. Lamerson, have you finished speaking with Mr. Ferguson?
I did.
All right, Norma Ferguson, 17A can go back.
May I be excused as well?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Jonathan Chavez.
Yes, Your Honor. I think I'm going to need to refile a motion to amend. It looks like a couple of there were some travel dates in there that are moot at this point, that they've already passed. So I think I'm going to have to refile.
Okay. So are you withdrawing the motion?
Yeah, because we had her traveling. I think it was like February 18th through 20th. So it's already passed.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes.
Thanks.
All right. Russell Mitchell.
Hey, Judge, I conveyed the offer to Ms. Garrettson. I'm 99% sure that we're gonna take it. So if you could give me a 30-day plea deadline so she can get some stuff in order.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Can I have a 30-day reset? And that will be your plea deadline date, Ms. Garrettson.
Yep.
All right, your plea deadline date is going to be March 31st. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after that date. Do you understand, Ms. Garrettson? All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Judge. And I'll be
You're
in touch with
welcome.
you, Tammy.
All right, thank you.
All right, Mr. Latimer.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. I've unequivocally stated to Mr. Ayala that I will continue to represent him as long as he speaks to me as candid and honest. He is still rather resistant and wanting to see all the evidence against him. I have given him the 7-count indictment. I've given him the 18 outcry.
Just one moment. Let me have him. He's still in the waiting room. Let me have him come back to the main room. All right, Mr. Ayala.
Yes, ma'am.
Here's the thing. You need to speak with your attorney. Right? And whatever ends up happening, if you haven't spoken with your attorney, you haven't hired an attorney, you're still going to jury trial. Do you understand? So you can go to jury trial having not spoken to your attorney, or you can go to jury trial having spoken to your attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you have a new attorney or you hire an attorney, the dates that I'm giving you are still going to be the same dates that apply. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Latimer, what we're going to do is we're going to come back in 2 weeks to see where we are. Did you receive the CPS video?
I got 3 discs this morning.
No, just 1 second. Who is Nafi Johnson? Nafi Johnson. You need to show your video. Unmute, please.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Where are you?
I live in Houston.
But you're in a courtroom. Why do you think it's appropriate for you to send love messages in chat? And who are you chatting with? Who is Day Day?
My nephew.
And why do you think it's okay to chat with him? And where is he now?
He's in the courtroom. He had texted me. I didn't know.
Well, no. You know that you're not supposed to use this chat box to communicate with people. If he's in the courtroom, that's what telephones are for. And if you want to visit someone at the jail, that's what visitation hours are for.
Yes, ma'am.
This is not the time for you to visit. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. That's understandable.
Norma, can I have a 2-week reset for Mr. Ayala, please?
Your Honor, I'd like to have that reset no later than March 4th, because I'm going to be out of the state most of March. I may have another surgery in March.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope I know everything will turn out all right with your surgery. Ms. Ferguson, can we bring this back at the first week in March, please?
And this way I can meet with Mr. Ayala, hopefully the end of this week or early next week.
All right. So we're going to come back March 2nd. And Mr. Ayala, you need to talk to your attorney. And as I cannot stress this enough to you, whether you speak to your attorney or not, if this is set on jury trial and you end up speaking to your attorney while the jury is sitting in the box, then that will be your fault. We're all adults here, okay?
You got it, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Okay.
Thank you.
March 2nd, 9 o'clock.
Yes.
Got it.
And that will be by Zoom.
Yeah. All right. We're excused.
Yes.
Thank you.
Kelly Piddle.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Who are you here for?
Carlos Garcia, all paperwork is signed. I believe it's been turned in. He just needs to be sworn.
All right, Mr. Garcia, everyone just give me a moment while I fill out the paperwork. And the clerks will be requesting that you come to a breakout room
No problem, Judge.
so that they can go over conditions. Well, I mean, swear him in. Sorry about that. Okay, and then Mr. We're waiting for that paperwork, Mr. Piddle, to make its way to me. Right, then Scott McCrum.
Yes, Judge, you already gave us another setting. You just wanted me to come back from the breakout.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, L24 Richardson can go back.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, and you're excused.
Thank you.
All right, and then we're going to take up Pablo Sanchez. Who's the attorney on Pablo Sanchez?
That is me, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. It's good seeing you.
Seeing you. Yes, I know that you were working during lunch. Everybody left at the same time, so I figured there was a conspiracy of judges.
I've already sent them. All right, who's the prosecutor on Pablo Sanchez?
Okay,
I am, Judge. Give me 2 seconds, but I can pull it up as you're starting out.
Sure.
It's state jail, no application, 8 months. Okay.
Where is your client?
He's in jail, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
There he is.
All right, we're going to go on the record in 2022 CR 0508, State of Texas versus Pablo Sanchez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Ryan Grimmer for the state of Texas.
for the defense?
Joanne De Hoyos for Mr. Sanchez.
And are you
Sanchez, unmute
Mr.
yourself.
Pablo Sanchez?
Unmute yourself, Mr. Sanchez.
Yes.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None from the state, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm going to show you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I haven't, yes, sir.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're not, Judge. We're actually waiving the repeater allegation language, and we would be proceeding on this case as a state jail felony. In addition, Judge, there are 2 counts, although they're kind of on there a little funny on the indictment I have. We are only proceeding on count 1.
That is correct, Your Honor. Count 1.
All right, so you're waiving count 1, paragraph 2.
Correct, Judge.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
Absolutely none, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
That is my belief.
Mr. Sanchez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm going to show you the plea bargain agreement page. Did you review that page with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count 1, paragraph, the first paragraph. They're waiving count 1, paragraph 2, and they're waiving the habitual enhancement allegation. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 8 months in the state jail facility. There's a $0 fine, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver Repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in
Yes,
both
ma'am.
places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
then to the offense is charged in count one, the first paragraph. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
Yes, Judge. State would offer State's Exhibit number 1 to the court.
Any objections?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports and laboratory reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. Ms. De Hoyos, I know you've already reviewed this, but I have to ask it for the record. Did you review the information form that was collected as it relates to mental illness and intellectual disability?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. And knowing that information, you still wish to proceed with this plea?
He was able to assist by his defense, Your Honor. He accepted the range of punishment, he did the habitual. Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
One aggravated assault was dealt with public servant. That one I never got it right, but they dismissed that one, and the felony position was going far. So the feds picked up the felony position is going far. So that's why I'm wondering, did they pick up the?
All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor. We waive
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, my client understands his responsibility. He's going to look for good time credit. He understands the opportunity to show to you that he's going to change his life. He's been very responsible. He's taken responsibility, and he wants to pay his debt to society. Hopefully one day we'll learn about addiction. I talked to him about a new study about using brain surgery with him, and he's interested in helping anyone.
All right, thank you so much. All right, Mr. Sanchez, I'm going to follow your agreement, sentence you to 8 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we will go off the record. Mr. Sanchez, you're habitual. You know what that means in Texas. In some cases, your minimum is 25 years. And who knows what will happen? You know, things happen when you have different people involved, different personalities, different cases. And you may find yourself doing the rest of your life in prison. How old are you?
I'm 40. Well, I'll be 40 this year.
All right, so you're not quite to the point where I am. I'm at the point where there's more of my life behind me, in front of me. Don't wake up one day and you spent the majority of your life in prison. There are plenty of treatment facilities that are actually free. Plenty of treatment places if you have mental health issues, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so tell me about your tattoos and did they hurt?
Yes, they did.
You know, Mr. Hoyas, I'm always like,
which ones are you talking about? The ones on my neck or the ones on my face?
Oh, the neck. Oh God.
Do you, when the pain is happening, do you say, hey, let's stop this and just make it a dot, and then I can tell people it's a mole or something? Or do you just continue?
Actually, I fell asleep when we were doing this one. And I fell asleep on the ones under my eyes.
Okay. Well, good luck to you, Mr. Sanchez. Make sure, here's the thing about the good time credit.
Yes,
I always will information back to see what people are doing. So if you want me to give you or consider giving you good time credit,
yes,
you need to make sure that you take advantage of the services that they're offering there. Because
okay.
I do read those and look at that.
Yes,
and don't get into any trouble because I look at that too.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's not my plan. See, the thing is I'm a grandfather, so like I'm trying to break the cycle here. I don't want my grandchildren to feel like this is the thing to do, you know, because I've been doing this the majority of my life.
All right, well,
So-
take that time to think about it. Don't be the grandfather at the prison, the oldest person at the prison when people want to know how things are run. They say, go to Grandpa Sanchez, he's the oldest person at the prison, okay?
Yeah, that's what I don't want.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Sanchez. Thank you,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hoyos.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Number 14L can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I be excused?
Yes.
Have a
Have a
nice
good
day.
one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Barreto, as soon as I do this plea, we're going to take up your matter. Victoria Cruz?
Yes, Your Honor. We have an agreement on the MTR. I emailed Norma my client's email address.
Okay.
That's where we're at with that one, so we should get it wrapped up.
Thank you. Stephen Harkowitz?
Yes, Judge, I was just chatting Norma. Mr. Medford had a misdemeanor. We've pled out the misdemeanor. We have an agreement on the MTR that he be continue with altering and amend some of his.
All right, as soon as I get,
conditions.
all right, as soon as I get the paperwork, we'll sign it and take that up.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. John Winter?
Yes, Judge, I have Kenneth Kim. So he's got several misdemeanors pending. He's got 2 other appointed attorneys on these misdemeanors. This morning I saw Robert Guyona. He's actually one of the attorneys appointed on the misdemeanors. And there's a possibility that this case will be dismissed if he pleads on the misdemeanors. So I'm thinking maybe the best thing to do would be to appoint Robert on this particular case.
Robert who?
Let him wrap everything up.
Robert who?
Guyona?
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you see if Mr. Robert Guyona can zoom back in? We may be able to take care of this matter today.
Give me 1 second, Judge.
Just give us a moment.
Or unless Mr. Winters wants to call him. Help me out here for just a second.
Ms. John Winters, you want to call Mr. Guyona
I will give him a call.
and tell him to zoom back into the 187? We will welcome him. All right, Bill Davidson.
Yes, Your Honor. Hello.
Hello.
I did talk to one of the ADAs in the case, Michelle, and on my case, there's a retaliation and a violation of protective order, which are out there. They're not really filed yet. There's also a harassment case. Then there's 2 misdemeanors, a criminal mischief and a telephone harassment. His main case, though, is the stalking case. And right now there's some legal issues with respect to the stalking statute. And I'm just going to write up some paperwork to have the court make a ruling on this statute, because the 5th District in Dallas ruled it unconstitutional.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this case in 3 weeks? You need to have filed that motion, Mr. Davidson, and give the state a copy, and we'll have our hearing.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to give you a date, just 1 moment.
Is it possible I could go into a breakout room with my client first? I mean, before I leave,
Yes.
if he's there.
Let's do 17.
All right, and Ms. Ferguson, can you let, because this is one of those cases where the Attorney General needs to be notified to see if they want to be a part of the hearing. So if you could let them know as well, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Davidson, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I'll need you to have your client come back to the main room.
Okay, and I'm sorry, do we have a firm date now? Or
No, it's the 17th. We just need to let the Attorney General's office know.
It's gonna be March 17th.
Yes.
Okay, thank
So I'm
you.
going to send you to breakout room number 2. And then Mr. Andrade, I'll send you to number 2. Please make sure your attorney, your client comes out of the breakout room. All right, we're going to do this plea and then we're going to take up Mr. Beretta. And it's Carlos Garcia Ramirez. Who's the prosecutor?
Michelle Hayden.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 4352, State of Texas versus Carlos Garcia Ramirez. Can I have the parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Michelle Hayden for the state.
For the defense?
Kelly Piddle.
And are you Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Judge. My client is down below in a black shirt. It says Carlos Garcia. He's not pinned. There you go.
All right. All right, so you're Carlos Ramirez Garcia, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Garcia, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you proceeding on the repeater enhancement allegation?
Oh, no, Your Honor. I apologize.
Oh, no problem. Any objections to the waiver of the repeat enhancement allegation?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with is indecency with a child by contact? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, your punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There are no applications. There's to be Chapter 62 compliance and registration. There's an agreed protective order for Avery Garcia until she turns 18. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea bargaining agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargaining agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver Repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then Mr. Garcia, to the offense is charged in the indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea.
State offers State's Exhibit 1 its attachments into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
Mr. Garcia, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty and the court will find you guilty. When are we having sentencing on this case?
Judge, we're going to ask that sentencing be reset for 3 weeks for him to appear in person and get his affairs in order.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 3-week reset for sentencing on Mr. Garcia, please? All right, we're going to come on March 17th. On March 17th, Mr. Garcia, you need to appear in court in person at 9 a.m. The courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa. It's the 187 District Court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
When is your court date?
March 17th at 9 a.m.
And what court?
187. Ma'am, can I be given permission to leave 1 day early because I'm in the valley?
I can file a motion. He currently
Okay.
resides in Mission, Texas. We're going to ask the court to allow him to rent a motel room the night before, so he's not driving in the day of.
All right, just file the motion and the court will consider it.
Okay, Judge. In addition, we've sent an agreed order to the court to modify his GPS from partial to tracking during this time of sentencing, and ask the court to set a curfew of either 8 or 9 p.m.
All right, and did you send that in the form of an agreed order?
I sent it the email entitled agreed order, but it included myself, Norma, you, and Michelle.
All right, have you filed any type of motion though?
Yes, it's a e-filed motion, Judge.
All right. Let me see if my printer never works. So let me see. Everyone shall cross their fingers. Oh, I think it's working. All right, that has been signed.
You, Judge.
You're welcome. You are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And let me give you this. All right, thank you. Ms. Whitland, who are the parties that you have?
Hi, Judge. I had Matthew Snow and Matthew Burke, and unbeknownst to me, I guess after I talked with Norma this morning, they stayed on here the whole time. I had a contested hearing at 1, but I am done early. So I conferred with Marcus this morning on Mr. Snow, and he needs additional time to go through the videos in that case. It's a pretty new case. And then I conferred this morning with Michael Villarreal, and I need to, he was going to check into some stuff over the
All right,
lunch hour.
let's do one at a time.
Okay.
So Ms. Ferguson or Mr. Snow, can we if you could give me a 30-day reset in the box, and at that time, the state needs to be prepared to make you an offer. And let me see what date she gives me.
I know she was giving March 21st. I will be gone that day. I will be back in town the 22nd.
No, she's giving you March 31st.
Ah, that's perfect.
All right, Mr. Snow, you're excused. We'll see you back on March 31st. And your next person is Mr. Burke.
Yes, and then Michael and I maybe need to chat about that again. I don't know if he was going to look at some stuff over lunch.
Okay, let me send you to a breakout room. I'll send you to breakout room number 3.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. John Winter on Kim.
Yes, Judge.
So
I called
have you
Mr.
been able to-
Guyona,
Yes.
but he was on a Zoom in another court.
All right, so just sit tight for a little bit, Mr. Winter. I know
Okay.
you have patience in your pocket because you're wearing a jacket and pants. So that's a minimum of 5 pockets right there.
Well, you're assuming the pants, Judge.
Okay. All right, Steve Harkowitz on that.
Judge, I've signed paperwork. I just sent a text to my client that he should have paperwork, so.
All right, while we're doing that up, then I will take the person who has been waiting patiently, and that's Mr. Barreto.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who's the prosecutor on Barreto?
That's me, Your Honor, Michelle Hayden.
Okay, and I believe he only pled on 1 case. Is that correct, Mr. Barreto?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court is going to call 2021 CR 7558, State of Texas versus Faustino Guerra. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michelle Hayden for the state.
For the defense?
Ignacio Barreto.
And are you Mr. Guerra?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Court will note for the record that the defendant entered into his plea on January 13th, and that was done by video as well. According to the plea bargain agreement, the state waived the repeat enhancement allegation. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 8 years in prison. The state opposes your application. There are several cases that the state is taking into consideration. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report? State?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
The only objection I have, Your Honor, is that it contains a statement in it that's actually double hearsay.
And what statement is that?
Is a statement by the victim who states that one of her friends told her something that allegedly my client said.
All right, is this something that's in a police report that's been accepted as stipulations?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will sustain that objection as it relates to the double hearsay. All right, state, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, any witnesses, state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then defense, do you have any witnesses or evidence to present?
I do have a witness, and my client's going to testify as well.
All right, who are you calling first?
It's Faustino Guerra Jr., and he should be in the courtroom.
All right, Mr. Guerra, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Mr. Guerra Jr.
Oh, sorry.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give would be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, ma'am.
All right, if you can lower your hand and state your name for the record, please.
Faustino Guerra Jr.
All right, and please make sure that you speak up so the court reporter can hear. Defense?
Thank you.
Faustino Guerra Jr.
All right, thank you. Defense, you may ask your questions.
Mr. Guerra, how are you related to Faustino Guerra III?
Faustino Guerra the third is my son.
Thank you, sir. And can you tell the court a little bit of your personal background?
Yeah, for most of my adult life, I was in the military or attached to the military.
In what respect?
I used to work in the intelligence service for the military, and when I got out, I was a security guard for the U.S. government.
Okay, and have you ever been convicted of any crime or felony?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Guerra, you know, we've asked you to come here to speak to the judge on behalf of your son, Faustino Guerra III. You understand that?
I do.
Okay. Can you tell the court about Mr. Guerra's working history?
Yeah, he's been in and out of jail, but when he's been out, he has been going to jobs, construction, iron work, and restaurants, you know, a variety of different jobs.
Do you know what has he had any problems with any of those jobs?
Nah, not that I'm aware of.
Okay. How would you characterize him as a person?
I think basically he's a good person, but he's had a problem with certain addictions that have gotten him in, into trouble.
What kind of addictions do you know of?
I would suspect the heavy ones, the heroin and whatever, I don't know, something or whatever.
Okay, so you don't really know what kind of addictions, you just know he was having some addiction problems.
Right.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And
not all the time, not all the time that he was out, but yeah. At some point in time, he did pick that up, and that's what caused him to go back to prison. Get caught, yeah.
And do you know where he? Where does he live? Where does he normally live?
Does he normally where?
Where does he live?
Oh, usually with his girlfriends, the present girlfriend that he's had, he normally was living with her more than us. And before that, with another girlfriend, and they had a child, and they were living together. But she passed away. They separated a long time ago, about 4 or 5 years ago.
What is his mother's name?
Maria Guadalupe Guerra.
Okay. How old is Mrs. Guerra?
It's 47.
His mother?
His mother's 73.
Okay. And how old are you, sir?
75.
What kind of health is his mother in?
She's diabetic, and what's another common ailment? I can think of the other. Yeah, she's got a couple of them. One being diabetic, and the other one is, can't think of the name. And then Faustino's sick as well. He's got a heart condition. And so my understanding that he's taking medication in jail. Yeah.
Okay, does Mr. Guerra, your son, does he help out his mother?
Yes, he does.
In what way does he help her out?
Well, giving her her medications and taking her places, where she needs to go.
Does she have any trouble walking?
Yeah, she's got trouble walking. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Does he help her in that respect?
Yes.
If the court were to allow him to have probation, would you be willing to help him stay on the straight line?
Yeah, absolutely. That's mostly from my perspective. Yes, I'm there for him, and yes, sure.
And one thing I forgot to ask you about is Mr. Guerra a church-going man?
Yeah, he became a Seventh-day Adventist. He got baptized while he was in a penitentiary going towards the valley. I forget the name of it. While he was in prison, and he had some time, still a good amount of time to go. And my kudos to him, because I know I've heard that it's very difficult to, say that you're a Christian, declare yourself a Christian inside as a convict. And since then, he's gone to churches, from time to time. And not my church, but my wife's church. Yeah.
So he practices his faith outside of prison. Is that true?
Yeah. Yes. To some extent, yes.
Are you asking this court to please consider And it would be an ask. It would be to have some leniency on your son and grant him probation.
Yes, sir. I've listened to the judge, and I admire her judicial temperance. And all I can say is that whatever she decides, we should be good with it. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'll pass the witness.
All right, State.
Good afternoon, Mr. Guerra.
Hello. Yes, ma'am. Oh,
When you say that your son has been in and out of jail, how long has he been in and out of jail for?
Don't remember. I think he was in prison for in his 20s.
Okay. And how old is your son now?
He's 47.
Okay. So is it fair to say he's been in and out of jail for about 30 years or so?
Close to that. Yeah, I would say close to that.
Okay. And he's been to prison a couple times. Is that correct?
That's correct, ma'am.
Okay. And all this time that he's been out there in and out of jail, going to prison, unfortunately, you and your wife haven't been able to help him. Or is that correct? He continues this path of behavior.
That's correct. He has been going back. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
And he's actually been on probation a few times during that time period as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And yet he still hasn't changed his behavior. He still continues to get arrested for new offenses. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. As the record will show, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And even after you said he converted to his new religion, he still continues to get arrested and pick up offenses. Is that correct?
Yeah. That conversion was what, about 2 years ago?
Okay. But you're aware that he actually has 5 pending cases open right now and that he's pled on one of them. Are you aware of that?
No.
Okay. And I know, and I'm sorry to hear about your wife. I understand she's got some health issues. Do you think it's good for your wife when he continues to get arrested and go in and out of jail and pick up these offenses? Or is that something?
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
No, no. It kind of wears on everybody.
And so that's something that's pretty stressful to her, him going out there and being able to do this.
Yeah, it's stressful.
Okay.
Well, whether he's in, or out, like you said, and then, being taken back in. Yeah.
But this path of behavior, this course of conduct that he's chosen, this life of being in and out of jail and out of prison, on and off probation, this has caused a lot of stress for you and your wife.
Yes, I don't know a lot, because after a while you kind of tend to push it off and not let it wear you down as much. Correct.
Yeah. And you mentioned his substance abuse. Are you aware that he was actually placed in a previous treatment for ISF several years ago?
Or something like that? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that he went to Mayoff or someplace like that, yes.
Okay. And yet that still wasn't enough to make him change.
Yeah.
And now that he is in jail, you said he is getting treatment for his current health conditions. Is that correct?
He's getting some medication for some problem. Maybe it's because he had a leaky valve as a child, and that doesn't go away. So, I don't know what else that his problems he's having.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
Thank you. Nothing further.
All right. Thank you so much for coming down, Mr. Guerra Jr.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Guerra, is that your Mr. Beretta? You said you were calling Mr. Guerra as your next witness. Witness?
Yes, I am, Your Honor. Did you ask me to proceed?
Yes, Mr. Guerra, could you unmute yourself?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Off the record for a moment. Mr. Winter, I'm going to send you
Yes,
to
I am.
breakout room number 1 with Mr. Guyona. And if you could let him know what's going in, if you all want your client in there as well, let me know.
Yeah, Judge, we'd like to have Mr. Kim in there as well.
All right, Mr. Kim, if you could go to 1. All right. Mr. Guerra, if you could state your name for the record, please.
My name is Faustino Guerra III.
I couldn't hear you.
Defense?
Your voice broke up.
Excuse me?
Yes, I can.
Defense, you can ask your questions.
Thank you, Your Honor. Are you still there?
I'm
kinda
still
lost
here.
you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Guerra, you were present during your dad's testimony, and you heard what he had to say, correct?
Mr. Guerra, you need to answer, and please please unmute yourself to answer.
Okay. Yes, I am muted, ma'am, and I guess you muted back. I'm sorry.
Shall I re-ask it? Let me re-ask the question.
I mean, yes,
Okay.
Mr. Barreto.
Thank you. Mr. Guerra, you were present and heard your father's testimony, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I did.
And I think I'd like to ask you, how do you answer the questions or the issue regarding the fact that you've had all of these problems in the past, you've been in jail, you've been on probation in the past. Why do you feel that this court, and you have to unmute yourself, why do you feel that this court should give you this chance at probation?
Because first of all, I am trying to change my life, and I have not been on probation since I was 20 years old, since I was a teenager. I'm 47 now. You know, I've been since day one that I asked for this probation. I have paperwork to show this. I have resumes, I have people to certifications. I have all this that I've been doing.
An additional 6 months?
You know, I even wrote to the judge.
Okay.
Judge, I wrote to you. It's not like, you know, I know it looks bad. I know it does. I know, but I want to be there to help my mom and my dad. You know, and I have been helping them out. And I do help out my mom. And they were driving around in my car because of my mom. I said, you know what, drive my car. You know, I have all this. I have this plan that I've been doing since day one. You know, I've only been on probation 2 times. I've only been on probation for 5 when I was 20 years old.
Yes.
I'm 47. You know, I'm not even been in and out. I don't have no aggravated cases or nothing like that. It's just little addiction problems that I had in the past. I don't have that no more. I work now. I work for the union. I'm a first-year apprentice at the Union 66. You know, steel erecting, framing, the ones that build the Alamo Dome. I have to get another vehicle because you're required a vehicle. So I got to go back to Riverwalk and start again over there so I can rebuild. I've been doing carpet as well, and they were going to testify. They were going to testify whether they weren't. My mom was going to come and testify, and so was even Esmeralda. She was going to come, but she didn't.
Let me ask you. So let me ask you a couple of questions, if I would, sir, if I can. Have you, when you're not having problems, do you keep yourself employed?
Yes, I do. I very do. I've even had 2 jobs
over the past 10 years, how have you been employed?
I've been employed the carpet. I've been employed
Hold
The
on, let me
river
ask you,
walk-
what does that mean? You've been, wait, what do you mean by you've been employed in the carpet? What does that mean?
Carpet laying. You know, that's the job I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing right now because I had to start at, you know, I'm trying to build a career.
Who do you
That's
work
what I'm
for,
trying to
sir?
do.
Sir, who do you work for?
Union 66.
As a carpet layer?
No, as a steel erector. Economy.
Okay. How long have you worked as a steel erector?
Since 2018. I've been at Toyota. I've been at Toyota. I've been at Sharp Glass. I've been at Patriot. Those are big companies in San Antonio.
All right. And do you also work on at restaurants?
At restaurants, I got a manager, certified managers. I can, so I'm certified to run the whole. But I choose to be a floater. A floater being it's either if they need you over here, dishwasher, I'll do the dishwasher. If I need to go do tortillas at a Mexican restaurant, that's what I do. Or if I need to cut the vegetables or whatever they need me to do, I'm there because I love to work. I do love to work, so I wouldn't have no problems paying probation. You know, I know all the odds against me and everything's against me. I just want this one chance, you know. If you, Judge, if you give me this one chance, I promise you. And I sent you a letter, and I'm just asking the court, just give me this one chance. If you give me this one chance, I will not fail you. I do attend church. My dad, he's the only one that if my mom was there, she would have told you the
All right,
more
Mr. Garrett,
extent.
Mr. Garrett, I want you to realize that letters that come to me, I don't read those unless they're presented by the defense.
Yeah.
And then I still don't read it unless the state has had a chance to review it. Just says if the state were to send letters to me, I don't read those letters until the defense has a chance to review those.
I know this, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And that's why
So,
I'm
Mr.
saying
Guerra,
it.
Mr. Guerra.
Yes.
So basically, what you would have told or what you may have told said in the letters are basically what you're talking about now, that you have been trying to keep working and that you feel like if you're given the opportunity, you're going to just bear down, keep your nose to the grindstone and work. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you're also, I understand that you also help your mother who's very sick. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. It's correct.
And what is your understanding about what illnesses your mother is suffering?
She just beat COVID last year. And I went through, you know, that made me realize that, you know what, I can lose my mom or my parents anytime. So every day I have been with them since when I was out there doing cleaning the house, doing the yard. I was just, you know, because that opened my eyes, you know, and I really want to be there for them. That's why this is the reason that, you know, I'm asking for the probation.
And would you, if you're given this opportunity, would you allow your dad to be a good influence on you?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Because my dad is a very good influence. He's the one that instilled the working into me since I was a kid, since I was a teenager. You know,
what's the difference then between the problems that you had when you were younger and where you are now, as far as letting your dad influence you?
Because when I was younger, you know, one doesn't really doesn't listen, you know, because he used to tell me, go, if you need money, go cut yards. He would give us rice and beans. And he goes, if you want something else, you're going to have to go work for it. And we're like, go cut yards. But now, landscaping, I started a landscaping company. You know, they took my truck. See what I'm saying? There's a difference now that I'm older.
All right. Okay. Okay. So is it your position today that you realize that you have had a lot of problems in the past? You recognize that, correct?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do recognize that.
And are you ready now to try to turn in the amount of time that you have left in your life? You're 47 years old. You're trying to make something out of it, something good out of it.
I'm trying to. I even at Palo Alto College, I enrolled there and I was accepted. Also at the Southwest by Ingram. Then I just didn't.
What
like
is your goal in doing that?
My goal is to build a career where I can stay steadily, and so I can just not depend on or be looking for different jobs, or just stay positive about everything. Keeping church. I was helping out in church, giving out food, giving testimonies to the younger youth. Just the positive stuff. Going out with my son. He's 27 years old. He's the foreman of his job at a landscaping company, and we go out to the park. I would like to go out there to the park with my son and have a barbecue. Just like that. That's why I'm willing to change. I'm willing to change. I'm just asking for this chance, and I cannot fail.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'll pass the witness.
Before witnesses pass to the state, counsel, did you want to address the gang affiliation issue and Mr. Guerra saying he wants a jury trial?
I didn't understand your question. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Oh, in the PSI report, Mr. Guerra, according to the PSI report, there's some gang affiliation, plus he's stating that he wanted to go to jury trial. So I don't know if you want to address that with your client.
I don't believe there's anything outstanding regarding that. Are you saying in regards to this case?
Yes, no, this is what he says on the PSI report on page 11. Like I said before, I didn't commit the offense. She had marks on her face from arguing with her sister. I was driving and she hit me. She was mad. She was trying to find my brother. She thought I knew where he was and I didn't. She was all mad. She was high on meth and she struck me and I took her home. She had scratched me and tore my shirt. And 2 days later, I went to put in gas and a cop pulled up behind me and I had a bench warrant. So I don't know if you want to speak to him about that in a breakout room before we continue.
We've spoken about that, Your Honor. He does not want a jury trial. He wants this to be concluded today.
All right, so do you want to ask him that? Because the only thing I have before me is the PSI report, and that issue of whether he wants a jury trial or not hasn't been addressed on the record.
I will be happy to do that.
If Mr. Guerra wants a jury trials are starting up in March.
Mr. Guerra, you want to have this done today? You want this all addressed today? You're not still requesting a jury trial, are you?
If I am allowed probation.
No, there is Mr. Guerra. I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your attorney. You wanting a jury trial is not conditional with this court with other factors. For example, it cannot be, well, if I get probation, then I don't want a jury trial. Or I'll waive my rights to jury trial in exchange for. There is no in exchange for. Either you want a jury trial or you do not. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1, Mr. Beretta.
Okay.
And Mr. Guerra, if you'll go to 1. All right, Mr. Winter, Mr. Guyona, on Mr. Kim.
Yeah,
Judge,
how do I go to breakout room number 1?
Yes.
Hey, how do I go to the breakout room?
Mr. Guerra, if you look, there should have been something that pops up asking you to go to a breakout room. And if you look at the bottom of your screen, can you unmute for me? Okay, he may have been kicked out and he may come back. Ms. Ferguson, Mr. Guerra accidentally removed himself. So if you could talk to the deputies to have him come back, please. All right, Mr. Guyana and Mr. Winter on Mr. Kim.
Yeah, Judge, I think that, you know, we talked about it and we discussed, you know, that it may be best for Mr. Kim to have one attorney on everything. And, you know, of course, it's with the court's permission, but Robert has agreed to take over this case if it's okay with the court.
Okay, I thought you all were saying that if he did something on a misdemeanor case, then this case will be resolved. I thought that's what we were here for.
No, that's not what I said, but what I did say was that it would be best if he has one attorney. Yes, Judge.
We can play back the video.
Okay.
Okay, but so.
But yeah, I do. There is a potential of resolving everything all at once in one big thing, which is why I said that it might be best for him to have one attorney.
All right, so who's the prosecutor on this?
I was speaking with Marcus about it.
All right, Mr. Sanders.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Winter was saying, and my mind is a steel trap, he said that Mr. Guyana was on the misdemeanor, some of the misdemeanor cases, that something may be worked out. If something happened with the misdemeanor cases, then this case will be done. And therefore, it would probably be in Kim's best interest if Mr. Guyana were placed on the felony as well. So where are we with this case?
I'm pulling it up, Judge. Sorry.
And so I agree with all that except for the something will be done, because I did not say that. I did say that after talking with Mr. Sanders about the case, that you know, there was a potential of resolving all the cases at once.
Yeah, Judge, it looks like it was one where we realized that he had a different attorney on all the cases, and we wanted to try to get Robert in here so that we could discuss wrapping up everything together.
Okay, and have you talked to Robert?
No, I didn't talk to anyone today.
All right, so Mr. Winter and Mr. Guyana, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with the prosecutor so that you all can discuss. And Mr. Winter, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. Mr. Guyana, I'll send you to number 3.
Okay, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Whitland on Burke.
Yes, Your Honor. I wanted to see if Mr. Villarreal and I may meet in a breakout room with Your Honor.
All right. Just give me one moment. Ms. Compton?
Judge, I have conferred with the state. I've received an offer. I would like a very short turnaround. If I could get the case reset to next week, I think that we can dispose of it. There's just a couple of little rough edges I need to work out.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Ms. Cassandra Ramirez, can I have a 1-week reset, please, for disposition?
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second. Let me. 20. I'm sorry, wrong person.
Norma, the second would be great for me if that works for you guys. I'm so booked next week, but I'll make it anytime the court's
All right, we're
available.
going to come back on March 2nd.
I appreciate that, Judge. Can I be excused?
Yes, and Norma, Ms. Ramirez is excused as well.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. All right, Ms. Whitland and Mr. Villarreal, if you all will meet me in breakout room number 1. And Ms. Cruz, I will be right back.
Yes, Your Honor, mine should be quick.
Mr. Guerra.
Yes, sir.
You were supposed to go to the breakout room.
Yes, there was a problem. I accidentally logged out, went out to, so how do I go to the breakout room?
Don't you have an invitation to?
No, I didn't get one.
All right, just hang in there. Just stay there.
Yes, sir.
I'll move you guys. Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
I'll move you to 2.
Okay, we're going to 2, Mr. Guerra.
Yeah. All right, Miss. Okay. All right, Miss Cruz on Zuniga.
Yes, Your Honor.
What is happening with Zuniga?
We will be pleading true to the new number 1. State will be dismissing it. And we will be altering and amending for an AIDS awareness class and drug patch for 3 months.
Okay, as soon as I get the documents, I will take that up.
Understood, Your Honor. I think on our end we have them, but please advise
Okay.
us.
All right, thank you. Are we ready on Mr. Guerra? Oh, he's in the breakout room now. All right, are the parties ready on Medford?
I believe so, Judge.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Medford?
State's ready, Judge. It's Ryan Brewer.
Thank you. You know, did I not say that usually when you have a Monday off, Tuesday becomes a Tuesday and a Monday? That's what's happening, but we are going to smile about it. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 7906, State of Texas versus Robert Medford. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ryan Grimmer for the state of Texas.
For the defense?
Stephen Harkowitz for Mr. Medford. Ready, Your Honor?
And are you Mr. Medford?
That is correct, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Medford, I'm going to show you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you a document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Robert Michael Medford who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 7906 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on August 6, 2021 for a term of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Yes, Judge. Violated condition number 1, that on or about the 29th day of December 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Robert Michael Medford, committed the offense of evading arrest in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you, well, you're not eligible for community supervision, and the court could sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge. We'd ask the court to deny the motion to adjudicate against Mr. Medford and to alter and amend his probation to include a couple of new conditions, one of them being a curfew of 10 p.m. with GPS monitoring to enforce that curfew until further notice, as well as the MRT course, which I believe is a moral recognition therapy course.
Yes.
Judge, also in addition, as part of this agreement, Mr. Medford went down to misdemeanor court and pled on the evading case. We'd ask that the conditions run concurrent with that.
And what does that cost?
Well, actually, it was a JSAT down there, so there are no conditions.
Correct, Judge. I can give you the case number, but.
Oh, well, then if it was a JSAT, then the court doesn't need the cost number.
Yes, Judge. But those are the conditions that we have an agreement, and we would ask the court to follow that agreement.
And the GPS, is that going to be tracking then?
Yes, Judge. I believe he does have a job. In addition, the GPS, the purpose of it is the underlying evading that happened at a nightclub at night. I think the probation's perspective is that bad things happen when you're out late at night, and we're trying to reduce him being out when he shouldn't be.
Oh yeah, nothing good happens at midnight. Even during, New Year's Eve, things always tend to go downhill from there. Mr. Harkowitz, is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor. Ask the court to follow the agreement. And I've had that discussion with Mr. Medford that he probably shouldn't have been at a club, being on probation. He said he wasn't drinking. He hasn't drank, and he wasn't intending. He was just going to go there for the music and everything. But so he's asking the court to give him this opportunity by continuing him on probation. He is taking his BIP class. That's why initially they were asking for a 9 o'clock curfew, but his BIP class ends at 9 o'clock. So we asked for the 10 o'clock curfew. Plus he gets his kids on weekends. So, and also sometimes his work goes late as well, but he understands that, for the period of time that, he needs to be at home, so he's not violating his probation. And, he's about about halfway through that bib class. Is that correct, Mr. Medford?
That is correct.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will deny the motion, alternate amending conditions to include a 10 p.m. curfew with GPS tracking, waive the fees and the MRT. Mr. Medford, the court is also going to add to your conditions, you are not allowed to attend or go to any clubs. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Or bars. Is there anything else from any side, either side?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, one additional thing, Mr. Medford reminded me is that Mr. Medford did appear here voluntarily. There was a warrant out for the MTR, but he was aware that the MTR, so he's appeared voluntarily to this court. So asking the court to withdraw that warrant as well.
Oh, I'll recall the warrant, but usually, Mr. Medford, if you want to appear before the court and you know you have a warrant, you would appear in person, not by Zoom, but physically in the courtroom. We'll recall the warrant. Mr. Medford, from here on out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room to go over conditions. I'll send you to breakout room number 1, and probation will meet you there and go over your conditions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And I'm just trying to find out. There you are. All right, are you ready to continue, Mr. Beretta?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we are back on the record in 2021 CR 7558, State of Texas versus Faustino Guerra. Mr. Beretta, did you have a chance to go over the PSI report with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does your
And,
client
we're ready-
still wish to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do you have any further questions for Mr. Guerra?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so just so the record is clear, Mr. Guerra, you wish to proceed with this agreement and not request a jury trial? You're on mute.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, you understand if you want a jury trial, then the court will make sure that you have a jury trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And jury trials will be resuming mid-March. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to proceed with this sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you waiving your right to jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. State.
Good afternoon, Mr. Guerra. You told the PSI officer in the court that you were only on probation when you were a teenager. Was that correct?
I told her I was on a probation of 5 years and then another 2 years, but that was it.
Yeah, you said as a teenager, right?
This is a teenager, but no, and then another 2 years.
But you were actually on probation multiple times in your 20s and 30s. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct.
That's not correct. So you're saying that you weren't on probation. Well, you were on probation. Let's just go over it. In 1995 for possession inhalant, and you were revoked for that probation. Is that correct?
And what year was that?
1995.
Okay, maybe it was, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and you were in your 20s then.
Okay.
And then in 2002, you were on probation for assault bodily injury, and you were revoked on that probation. Was that correct?
Oh, yes, right, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
And then in 2002, you were also on probation for failure to stop and give information, which is one of the cases that's being taken into consideration for your plea today, and you were revoked on that probation. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you were also on probation in 2005 for telephone harassment, and that probation was revoked too.
It's 2005 for
Yes.
telephone harassment. No.
Okay, well,
It
the
was-
judge has your criminal history. But then we have the probation from 1991 or 1997, I apologize, where you were actually sentenced to 5 years in prison for the theft of a vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you say you want one more chance, but you've had multiple chances.
In the past, when I was younger, yes, ma'am.
And you've been to prison twice before.
Yes, ma'am.
So you realize that with those 2 prison trips, you're actually getting a chance because you're looking at 25 to life with your history. That you could be looking at 25 to life, 25 as a minimum, based on having gone to prison twice before. You understand that, right?
Yeah, or I could sit here and I really don't want to say too much, right? I
Okay,
could
but
sit here.
you
and-
understand that you've had multiple chances and you've been given a chance.
Not too many chances. Like if you compare me to it, man, I was younger when all that. I mean, now
Okay.
I'm older.
Okay, but you were younger, but since you've been in your 40s, you've still had multiple convictions. You have multiple felony convictions and misdemeanor convictions as well.
Not TDC. Those are the state jails. Those
State
are
jail, but still
petty.
felony convictions. Okay. And then you also talked about how in 2010, you'd had cognitive and behavioral ISF. You'd had treatment.
Yes.
Okay. And that wasn't enough to make you turn your life around.
It's slowly but surely I have turned my life around. I do work, and that's who I was.
Okay, you say you love to work. Do you also love to
I'm going to
commit?
object that, hold on a second. Let me object that she's now allowing the witness to complete his answer.
All right, you can ask your next question, Ms. Hayden. And Mr. Guerra, you'll have a chance to answer the questions that are asked, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may ask your question.
You say you love to work. Why, if you love to work, do you feel the need to continually steal from people?
Who did I steal from?
Well, in the one case that's being taken into consideration, Esmeralda Rodriguez.
No, that she gave me that.
Okay, so she gave you that. What about your other 4 theft convictions?
But those were when I was younger, and I didn't really, I could have sat here another year fighting that one theft that she said she gave me those $10, and then she wanted it back. So
Okay.
I mean, I'm not here to fight that case or nothing. I'm just here to fight
Okay. But you're still not really taking responsibility for the case that you're pleading on. Is that correct? You're blaming the victim in that case.
No, I'm taking responsibility. Look, I'm sorry that that I got picked up this case. It's my fault. Yes, I am, and
Okay.
I am sorry about this case, and I am willing to do the probation because yes, it is my fault. I'm willing to take classes, do anything. All I was asking from y'all is just to give me that one chance. If there's any mess ups, I can understand if but I just want just one chance, and I can prove y'all wrong. I know that in the past, you give me, but right now, I almost lost my mom. I've been helping her out.
Okay. Mr. Guerra, 2021 alone, you have 4 different pending cases. Do you think that's helping your mom?
Those are for being relations from the same person. I'm not gonna see no contact with that person. I won't. I guarantee there won't be no.
And you've been living with your mom for the last 10 years. Is that right?
Yes.
And in that time, you've had multiple convictions. You've been to jail, state jail, multiple times.
Okay, but not all of that time was I living with my mom. As my dad said, testified that I was living at her house. I was going over there and helping them out. I do help. I'm the only one that helps out my mom. And my little brothers, he's selfish. He has his own house. He doesn't go over there and help her. I'm the only one that helps him out. I go and ask my mom if she's good, if she needs anything, or my dad. I do. I promise I do.
I'll pass the witness.
Defense?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, any further witnesses? Defense?
I don't have a witness, Your Honor, but I do have something to call to the attention of the court with regards to the PSI.
Yes,
But
the
no other
court
witness.
is viewing the PSI. What did you seek to call to the court's attention?
I wish to call to the court's attention. Whoa. What happened?
No, this is the PSI. So what portion of the PSI are you calling to?
It's on page 8. Let me see.
Yes.
Okay, on paragraph 6, it indicates there, let's see, what am I looking for? It says on page 6, on paragraph 6 rather, that the officer spoke to the victim on the telephone advising her of the plea agreement and sentencing date. The victim advised that she will not be requesting any restitution for this case. When asked whether or not she felt the defendant should be granted probation, she provided the following response: maximum probation. His brother's my boyfriend and their mom is not doing good right now. The first time she was in the hospital with a mild stroke, but now she's not doing so good. Give him the maximum probation and I don't need him to pay me nothing. The next sentence is the hearsay objection, is the statement in hearsay to the court, which granted the objection.
Yes.
The hearsay
All right.
objection.
And the court has read the entire PSI report, as everyone knows I always do.
Yes.
This is what is concerning to the court, Mr. Guerra. This is your criminal history. Failure to identify, 3 months. Terroristic threat, 3 months. Assault, bodily injury, 94 days. Criminal mischief, 30 days. Possession of inhalant, 6 months. Failure to identify, 30 days. Assault, 5 months. Failure to identify, 5 months. Assault, 14 days. Assault, probation revoked. Failure to stop and give information, probation revoked. Another assault, bodily injury, married, 6 months, 10 days. Assault, bodily injury, 6 months, 10 days, which the court is assuming these were ran together, hence the same sentence for both. Then we have a theft, 90 days. Driving while intoxicated, 5 months. Criminal trespass, 80 days. Criminal mischief, 6 months. Criminal trespass, 6 months. Failure to identify, 6 months. Telephone harassment, probation revoked. Failure to identify, 20 days. Assault, bodily injury, married, 6 months. Possession of marijuana, 25 days. Deadly conduct, family, 6 months. Theft, probation revoked, sentenced to 5 years. Possession of a controlled substance, 6 months. Theft, 6 months. Assault, family, second, 4 years. Possession, 6 months. Theft, 6 months. Theft under 1500, 10 months. Possession, 12 months. That's where we are. This is what the court is going to do. The court will deny your application. The court is finding you guilty. Sentence you to $1,500, time and money to run concurrent. This will run concurrent with County Court Cause number 669958. Take in consideration County Court Cause number 669136. Night Mag number 637133. County Court Cause number 69957. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There should be no contact with Esmeralda Rodriguez or Maria Estrada. And the court will sentence you to 6 years prison.
Yes, sir.
Give you credit for any time served. With regards to the restitution that is being asked for to Paul Hernandez, the court did not see in any documentation that there was a restitution listed. So is there restitution?
Judge, let me check on that. I don't see that we have a restitution amount.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Guerra, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because there's an affirmative finding of family violence, and also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you would like to know what the definition is of weapon or ammunition, you need to contact your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Guerra, I see that there may be some drug issues regarding you or some other issues you may have. If you would like, I can refer you to the therapeutic community. However, the therapeutic community does not increase the amount of time that you will serve. And the therapeutic community, I can't necessarily force them to take you, but if you don't request it, they definitely will not. So would you like to be considered for the therapeutic community?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I'll ask that you be considered for the therapeutic community. All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Guerra, good luck to you. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you've learned from this, and I hope that you do better.
Yeah.
You can still turn your life around.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
All right, is there anything else, Mr. Barreto?
No.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Barreto. Thank you, Mr. Guerra. Number 14, Jay Barrera can go back.
Thank you, Your Honor. Be excused.
Yes, thank you.
Judge, can I see in a breakout room really quick?
Yes, breakout room number 1.
Okay, thank you.
And then when I come back, we're going to take up George Gutierrez.
Norma, this is Carolyn. I just sent over an order from me and Michael signed off on it, and I wanted to see if you could forward that to the judge.
Yeah, we were right about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm going to sign off. If you need anything, I put some extra blanks on there. If you need anything from me, please just give me a call and I'll hop back on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. Have a good day.
You too. Calling somebody else, not calling my case.
All right, we are going to go on the record on George Gutierrez. Who are the attorneys on this?
David Woodard, I'm here for Mr. Gutierrez.
All right, and Ms. Kramer, I've just been made aware that you are in the courtroom, so we'll take care of that in just a moment. My mind may be a steel trap, but my vision requires glasses. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 0955, State of Texas versus George Gutierrez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Me Sparks.
For the defense?
David Andre Woodard for Mr. Gutierrez.
And are you George Gutierrez?
Yes, ma'am.
You're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objections.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Gutierrez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I have, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gutierrez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're proceeding on count 1, waiving all other counts, as well as the repeater enhancement.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Gutierrez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with? A possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams. That's a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere to 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is and he was.
Mr. Gutierrez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter to this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, your punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. The state is proceeding on count 1 only. There's a $1,000 fine. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration 2022 CR 0954, 2022 CR 0953, County Court Cause number 67312. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge. I just need to verify the county court case number on there. It should read 673216, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver Repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense is charged in indictment in count one. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea.
Yes, Your Honor, State Office states Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objections, Judge.
Mr. Gutierrez, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty of count 1, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We're just asking the court to follow the agreement.
All right, the court will sentence you to 5 years in prison. There's $1,000 fine, time and money will run concurrent. Taking consideration 2022 CR 0954, 2022 CR 0953, County Court Cause number 673216. Court will give you credit for any time served. I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question over the definition of weapon or ammunition, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Gutierrez, how old are you?
26 years old, ma'am.
All right, you still have a lot of your life in front of you, but if you continue on the path that you're on, you may not, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Life, there is danger around every corner sometime. And if you continue to do what you're going to do, you have more danger, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You have any children?
I got 5 children.
So you're 26 with 5 children. What are their
Yes.
ages?
7, 5, 4, 2, 5 months.
All right, so you're going to have to start doing better if you plan on being in your children's life. Children are going to be wondering where you are, and you're at prison. So if you want to be a positive influence in your children's life, then you're going to have to do better. If you're not going to do better, then don't be in their lives. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Gutierrez.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Norma L10 can go back. Mr.
Thanks,
Woodard,
Judge.
you
May I be
are
excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
To the courtroom.
Yay. What do I do so she can hear me?
Right there in the front, face the front. Right there.
Hello.
The arrows in the front.
What do you have? Hi.
I've got Jesus Garza from this morning, Judge. Marcus this morning and I conferred he was going to call the AUSA because there's issues out there. And I don't know, by now the AUSA may have called him back. I don't know.
All right, Mr. Sanders.
Yes, Judge. So in the past, I've received a call back in the same day. I haven't gotten a call back yet today.
All right, and it's Mr. Garza on the Zoom.
He was in custody.
All right, let me
Yeah,
see.
he's definitely in custody.
All right, let's see where he is.
But he's aware of this, Judge.
Okay. So, State, when do you think you will find out information regarding this?
I think this week, Judge. So if we could recall it for later in the week.
All right, let's, just to be on the safe side, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Jesus Garza, can we recall this for next week, please? And I'm just waiting for her to give me a date in the chat box. All right, we're going to come back on March 3rd.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you for your patience. You're excused.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right, who are the parties on Andres Cardenas?
That's me, Your Honor, Michelle Hayden.
Todd Coronado, Your Honor.
Okay.
And Judge, on that one, we will have victim impact.
All right, then just give me one moment before we take this matter up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you came back. You came back. You never came back. You took your home. Huh? You never came back. You just wrong. That's what you say?
Deputy Laura, if I could see you for one moment, please.
Yes, Judge.
What are you waiting on, sir? Judge. No, that's what you asked, what you waiting on. I said, you went back here good.
So I went back.
Yeah.
I've been seeing you the whole time. Let me see.
All right, so we're going to start on Mr. Todd Carnata.
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay. And it is on Cardenas. Court is calling 2020 CR 10768, State of Texas versus Andres Jaime Cardenas. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Michelle Hayden for the state.
For the defense?
Todd Carnata for Andres Cardenas.
And are you Mr. Cardenas?
Aye.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Cardenas, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Cardenas, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're proceeding on count one and waiving the other counts.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Cardenas, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with continuous violence against family? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement? If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yeah.
That's yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
No, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights? Yes or no?
No. Oh,
So you
yes,
want a
yes,
jury
yes,
trial?
yes. No. Yes.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, he was, Your Honor.
Mr. Cardenas, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on count 1. State recommends deferred adjudication. They will take in consideration 2020 CR 4998. They're asking for the BIPP course, 100 hours of community service, restitution, the MIC probation, affirmative finding of family violence, no contact with Faith Vasquez and Elena, and a host of Vasquez. Did you understand with the affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, I
Did you
understand.
understand with the affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, I understand.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, I understand.
Defense, is that your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver Repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count 1 in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1, its attachments, including the emails I sent separately because they would not attach an Adobe.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Cardenas, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, real quickly, I've known on this going on 2 years now. I was appointed March of 2020. At the time, he was found to be incompetent at one point, has regained his competency. He's made a lot of progress that I can see, and mentally in the 2 years that I've known him. And we are asking, of course, that you follow this agreement and give him a chance to, at deferred adjudication, to get this charge dismissed as well.
All right, Mr. Cardenas, are you receiving SSI or?
No, ma'am.
How far did you go in school?
Graduated.
Why are you violent towards your mother and your grandmother?
Well, it was just a nature that I felt like I had to grab them and push them, and then it just happened out of nowhere. And then
No, this has happened more than once. That's why you're here for continuous violence. So I go back to the point. Why do you continue to put your hands on your mom and your grandmother?
Oh, I have no reason.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication, the MIC evaluation, BIPP, 100 hours community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof that you've obtained the COVID vaccination. That includes the booster. The court is not forcing you to obtain the vaccination, but if you do, then that will be 40 hours will be deducted. Affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Faith Vasquez and Alina Vasquez. Proof of employment within 15 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. GPS tracking, waive fees. I'm going to want field visits 3 times per month. Regular Zoom reporting or in person. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
No, ma'am.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful, Mr. Cardenas?
No, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand, ma'am.
And because there's an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
I understand, ma'am.
All right, we're gonna go off the record, Mr. Cardenas, your mom, your grandmother. They may not be here. Who knows how much time anyone has on the planet. But what I do know is that you're a young man. You should not be hitting your mother or your grandmother. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand, ma'am.
You need to get your own home, and you can do whatever you want to in your own home. Do you understand?
I understand, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Oh, Judge, we do have the victim impact. I
All right.
believe they're on iPhone.
All right, I'll send you all to number 3 for victim impact. Mr. Todd Coronado, sorry. You will need to go
All
to
right.
breakout room number 3.
Thank you.
And who is here for victim impact, Ms. Hayden?
It's Elena Hinojosa Vasquez, but I think it says iPhone on the
thing. Yes.
Is there anyone else?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you both so much for coming in. And Ms. Hayden, if you could go to number 3 with them, please.
Judge, do you want me to go over there or do you want me to wait in here?
If you go to 3 with them as well. And Marina, I'll send you to number 3 as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Victoria Cruz.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.
We should be ready.
I don't have any paperwork.
We signed it a while ago. David Zuniga.
Okay, I think, let me see if it's coming in now. Mr. Mathers? All right, can you unmute for me, please?
You should be here now.
Yes, Mr. Mathers, how old are you?
Currently I'm 25 years old. I
All
turned
right, so
26
you're old enough to
August
know
1st.
better. So here's the thing, Mr. Mathers.
Yes, ma'am.
You keep having family members come on this Zoom, sending messages to you. The court will not have that. So if your family members want to continue to do that and not take care of visitation at the jail, what's going to end up happening is you're going to be sent back because that's inappropriate behavior. And what will happen when you get sent back is we'll see you in maybe 60 to 90 days because you know there's a staffing issues. So when you call your family on the phone, you need to tell them that the court finds their behavior unacceptable. And if
Yes,
it
ma'am.
continues, what's going to end up happening is we will see you in 60 to 90 days.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize for that. I just got informed maybe about 30 minutes ago. From
Well,
when,
no, no, because when people come on the Zoom in the 187 District Court, you know you're not supposed to be using chats and sending messages.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize. I'm not going to cause any more problems. I promise.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, the court is going to call 2020 CR 4191, State of Texas versus David Zuniga, who is on for the state.
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense.
Victoria Cruz on behalf of Raymond Martinez.
All right, and are you Mr. Zuniga?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Zuniga, did you review a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Ms. Cruz is standing in for Mr. Martinez. Do you have any objections to Ms. Cruz standing in?
No, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same David Zuniga who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 4191 for the offense of possession of marijuana, 4 ounces to 5 pounds on December 11, 2020 for a period of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State.
Condition number 1, on or about the 10th day of December 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant David Zuniga committed the offense of solicit prostitution in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
We'll waive the others.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
Judge, there is. We are asking that you deny the motion, alter and amend to order an AIDS awareness course and the drug patch for 3 months. And also we've agreed to TIC the new number 1 case, which is Night Mag 641556.
Is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Ms. Cruz, because probation is in a breakout room with another defendant, could you please make sure to write this down and take it to her in the other room?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include AIDS awareness, drug patch for 3 months, and take in consideration Night Mag number 641556. All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Zuniga, do you have someone that you love in your life, an intimate partner per se?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do they know about this?
Yes, Your Honor.
So if you love that person, you wouldn't be doing this. And usually the people that you are seeking to buy services from, they've already experienced their own trauma and you're just adding to that. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room with your attorney. It'll be in breakout room number 3. And if you could let Ms. Reyes know what I've ordered.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Let me
Marcus,
see.
if you could CC me on that dismissal when you get a chance, please. Awesome. Thank you. Mr. Zuniga, we can go in with probation.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you. If anyone is ready.
Judge, I believe that we're ready. John Winter on Kenneth Kim.
What is happening with Miss Kim, Mr. Kim?
Well, we've done the paperwork. Have an application for deferred adjudication.
Okay,
Although I think Norma just put us in a breakout room, so maybe,
yes.
I'm not sure.
Yes, if you could go to that breakout room, if you could go to number 4 and see what's happening with the paperwork.
Well, I don't know what's happening with the paper. I know let me go back and check.
Okay, because I don't have any paperwork.
Okay.
Judge, can you make me a co-host again?
Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we're ready for Mr. Davon Matthews, Your Honor.
Adam, y'all still need to sign the waiver and the consent. So y'all need to go into a breakout room.
I think he already did that. I already signed my paperwork.
No, you haven't, because I still have it. It says right here, you have not.
Okay, I signed it. Okay, I'll go back.
Go to
Thank you.
breakout room number 4.
Okay.
Mr. Acevedo?
Yes, Judge. Announcement on Anthony Whitley.
Yes.
I've conferred, don't have an agreement at this time.
All right, have you received all the discovery? Because we're here for discovery for Coban.
Yes, I have.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Whitley, can I have a 30-day reset? Has the state given you an offer?
Yes.
I just put Adams and them in number 4.
Number 4?
And Ms. Kane, don't worry, we are going to break at 5. I'm just trying to make sure I get everyone where they're supposed to be.
You are, that's fine. I'm good. Thank you, though.
All right, thank you. All right, so we're going to come back on March 31st. And that's going to be your plea deadline date, Mr. Whitley.
Okay, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. May we be excused?
Yes. Norma, on Landry, his attorney hasn't shown up. So if we can recall Landry for tomorrow.
Judge, he is stuck in the 73rd in a hearing. I just finished talking to him. He's still in there and I can still hear him.
Okay, so we need to recall it.
For Thursday, Judge.
All right. Mr. Landry, your attorney is in a hearing. We're going to see you back on Thursday.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Norma, if you could let them know 14H can be excused. All right, and Norma, on McAfee, that needs to be recalled for Thursday. And I don't know where the defendant is, but I'm notating that the defendant is not present, and please let the attorney know. And on Mr. Dow, if we can recall that for Thursday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And on Avery, if we can recall that for Thursday.
Judge, that's it tomorrow, Judge.
Okay. And then I have a Tyrone Dotsey. And if we can recall that for Thursday.
They had to take the inmate back, Judge. He was here, but he was acting up using the computer.
Okay, we'll recall him for Thursday. Right, do y'all have the paperwork on Mr. Kim?
Hold on, Judge.
And then Norma, we're just gonna have to recall Mr. Mathis for tomorrow. This is gonna be the last case that we take up.
Judge, my jail list is full. I can't put any more. So he's gonna have to wait until Thursday.
All right. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 11285, State of Texas versus Kenneth Kim. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
John Winter.
Are you Mr. Kim?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Kim, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case? And did you review it with your client?
Yes,
ma'am.
Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Kim, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? And did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Kim, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishment, defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes,
In
Your
all
Honor.
the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand your charge of possession of controlled substance penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in, the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked? The court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do, Judge.
Mr. Kim, has anyone threatened, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, they have not.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am. Very
Are you
satisfied.
a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,000 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. They will take in consideration the following cause numbers: 628829, 628830, 628831, 643343, 654529. There's to be $60 to SAPD for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver Repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be 150 hours of community service restitution, the TAP evaluation, and the BIPP course. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea.
Yes, the state offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Kim, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we're just asking that you follow the plea agreement.
All right. Mr. Winters, I need you to take down everything that I'm saying so you can give it to the probation officer who's in a breakout room. Mr. Kim, do you have employment?
No, ma'am, but I plan to look for a job the second I can.
How old are you?
I'm 30 years old.
Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am, I have 4.
Where are they?
They are with their mother.
Who is the mother? Is this the Lisa Kim that's listed in here?
No, that's my mother. The mother is Jade Edwards.
I'm sorry, what?
Jade Edwards.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. $1,000 fine, that'll be probated, 4 years deferred adjudication. Taking consideration county court cause numbers 628829, 628830, 628831, 643343, 654529. There's $60 restitution to SAPD for drug testing, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, regular Zoom reporting. If something happens and you can't report by Zoom, then it will need to be in person. I'm going to want field visits, random, 2 times per month. 150 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof that you've taken the COVID vaccination. I don't require people to take the vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. The BIPP course. State, is there any no contact orders related to the BIPP course?
No, Judge, I spoke to the victims, or I spoke to one of the victims in the case, and it's his mom, Lisa Kim, and she did not want one. I didn't speak to the other victims. The other victim was the grandmother, and then the third victim was the girlfriend that he mentioned, Jade Edwards.
All right, why are you hitting on your mom and your grandmother?
I promise you, man, it's not like that, and I would never do that. It's just, it was an argument that got out of hand. They were trying to control me and discipline me, and they didn't know how to because I was out of control. And I promise
so you ended up hitting them?
No, ma'am, I did not. And I would never hit them.
Do you have your own place to live?
No, ma'am, I do not.
So were you staying with your mom and your grandmother?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I was.
Guess what? You are technically a child. And I mean that by saying this. When you live in someone else's home, their rules go, not your rules. If you want to be an adult male or an adult female and live by your own rules and have your own curfew that you want to set for yourself, then you need to have your own place. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
The BIPP course. We're in our regular UAs. Is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am. Just wanted to say thank you to you and Mr. Sanders.
You're welcome. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off record. Ms. Kane, thank you so much. We're normally not here till 5:19, but it's a Monday and Tuesday.
It's a Monday, yeah, it's a Tuesday after I did it. I hear you. That's
All
okay.
right, thank you so much for coming in.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. All right, Mr. Kim,
Yes.
from
yes,
here
Your
on
Honor.
out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself if this could result in you going to prison for potentially 10 years. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I
All
thank
right,
you
good
so
luck
much
to
for the chance. Thank you so
All right,
much.
you're welcome. Good luck to you. I'm going to
Thank
send you
you.
to breakout room number 3.
Okay.
John, do not let me down in breakout room number 3. I know you remember everything that was said.
I wrote it all down, Judge.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson. Ms. Ferguson, can I see you in breakout room number 1, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Mathers. We are going to bring you back on Thursday. Do you understand? Give me the thumbs up. Whatever family members you want here, they need to appear in the courtroom. I will not allow them on Zoom again. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, and Mr. Flores, if you could tell your clients, whoever that was who was coming in for him, they need to appear in person in court.
7.
Yes, Your Honor. There were character witnesses, Your Honor, but I didn't realize they were chatting with the client.
Yes, they were.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
And thank you.
Thank
Do
you.
you, before you leave, have you finished all your paperwork with Mr. Mathers?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
All right, we'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Andrade, what page are you on? Let me see.
Judge, he was Bill Davidson's case. I think it was already reset.
Yes, it was. Mr. Andrade? Your case was reset. And Norma, and it was reset for March 17th. All right, thank you. All right, everyone, we are done for a Monday, Tuesday. But even though Monday and Tuesday were together, which is really, 48 hours, we accomplished that by 5:20.